Hey, I'm Pat Porter. I'm the broker for RecLand. Here we talk about the rural real estate business and ideas and information to help you better manage and enjoy your own property. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about an interview that I just had just a few minutes ago with a guy who is considering being a land agent for our company. He brought up some good questions, and I think those good questions that he had would be a good outline for people, maybe even some of you who are thinking about getting into the real estate business, whether it's land business, commercial, residential, or what, but just give you a general outline of questions that you ought to ask potential brokers before you put your license with anybody. First question he asked was, what's different about our company? He had already visited with two large land companies in our industry, and he simply wanted to know what was different about RecLand as it compared to each one of those two companies. Now, in a lot of ways, we're similar. I mean, the real estate business is the real estate business. There's a lot of things that are just going to be day in, day out, the same old, same old. But there are some distinctions, and I was able to tell him what's unique about RecLand and how it compared to the couple of other companies he was talking to, so that he would have some, good information to be able to make a decision about whether he wanted to come to us or go to them or somebody else. His asking what the difference was a very good question in my opinion. Second thing he asked was about the money. Now, of course, that's always going to come up, and I'm glad it does. It ought to come up. How do we do the commissions? How do we handle the money? How do we pay for advertising? All the dollars and cents in the deal. Well, without getting into too much about how we do our business, that's a private conversation I'd be glad to have with any of you sometime, but I told him exactly how RecLand handles the commissions, what we do, how the money's split up, what we pay for in terms of our marketing and advertising, and how just all the dollars and cents worked, how any fees would be applied, which at RecLand we don't really have any fees. It's just the straight commission. We keep it real simple, so there's a little inside baseball for you. But anyway, I was able to explain that real clearly so that he could understand, hey, if I put my license with RecLand, I know exactly what to expect on the money. Get clear. Don't be embarrassed or afraid to ask how the commission structure works at any real estate company. You need to know that, and it needs to be real clear and understood. And here's a pro tip for you. If you leave that meeting a little bit uncertain about how the money works, you either didn't ask the question or they didn't tell you everything. You should be able to leave a meeting with a potential broker and know exactly how the money works in the whole gamut of your relationship with them. Hey, the third question he asked was about territories. Where could he do business? Where should he avoid? At RecLand, we don't have territories. It's just limited by the state that you're licensed in. So I was able to make it real clear, exactly what he could expect, where he could expect to get listings and sell property. And that question came up simply because another company that he had talked with, they're very specific and firm and have some very rigid guidelines about territories. But I was able to explain that, hey, we do territories completely differently, so he left with that understanding. Can you sell in a different city? Can you sell commercial and residential? The company you may work for may have some very clear guidelines about what you can do, can't do, and where you can and can't do that activity. So be sure if you ask that and make sure you're clear on what you can do with the real estate company you're working with. And then the fourth thing he asked, which is a real good question, it comes up every time. I've talked to so many people, but he asked about, hey, what kind of support or training can I expect? And I was able to make it real clear and explain what we do, how we do it, and a little bit about the philosophy of why we do it. And the philosophy or the concept behind what we do is really more telling than the actually what we do. The concept is what gets you through day to day. Ideas can change from day to day, but if a company's got a good solid philosophy, concept behind what they do, that's always going to govern and guide how they train you, how they support you, how they work with you, how they help you along. I was able to answer that question real honestly and easily with him because, hey, I created the thing. I developed the concept. I'm the one that sort of spearheads that. So, I was able to tell him exactly, hey, here's what we can do, man. Here's how we can help. Here's how you can expect to be supported and maintained through this process as you learn. He was able to leave with a good, clear understanding of how we handle training and support. Those 4 things in just general, casual conversation, in my opinion, are 4 really good questions that you ought to ask with any potential broker you sit down with. Ask about what makes their company different. Ask about the money. Ask about territories or restrictions or guidelines governing the type of business and where you can do business. And then ask about training and support. Now, if you're an old pro and you're maybe just looking to change companies, some of that stuff might not be as, but you may have different questions. But if you're just getting started and you're new, those 4 questions are the biggies. Go about asking those things. After he asked those questions and we had some good discussion, we just simply talked about what we do. We talked about hunting. We talked about family. We just visited about people we know. We visited about certain parts of the state that we both hunted in and had some experience in. So we just sat around and visited, and that's a good thing too, just getting to know somebody. Anyway, thanks for watching our videos. Hope this was helpful to you if you're looking to get into the real estate business. And if I can help you in any way, you got any questions, just shoot them to me. I'll answer as best I can and do all we can to help you. Thanks. Bye.